We are back with part two of the all-time San Francisco 49ers draft, a three-way draft. Who has the best team? We'll go through what happened in part one. We'll get into part two and continue selecting the greatest San Francisco 49ers of all time and putting together three full squads of 49ers legends. Part two coming up right now.
You are Locked On 49ers, your daily San Francisco 49ers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On 49ers. Brian Peacock, Eric Crocker, and Nicholas Winkler with you on this special Winky Wednesday edition as we continue our all-time San Francisco 49ers draft. We had a whole bunch of fun in part one. I don't know if Croc and Wink can catch up to how good Team Peacock is right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put it up on the screen so everyone can kind of follow along and see how the draft board is falling. And you might want to pause this if you didn't listen to part one and go back and hear that before I spoil what the picks were in the first four rounds between Team Peacock, Team Crocker, and Team Week on the all-time San Francisco 49ers draft. I want to thank everybody for making Locked On 49ers your first listen here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Blue Nile. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com, and Locked On 49ers listeners get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. Use code Locked On at checkout. All right, I'm going to pull this up on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube. And this is how things went in rounds 1 through 4 in episode 1 of the all-time San Francisco 49ers draft, 2022 edition. We did this 5 years ago, just Wink and I, and it was about the same time of year, almost exactly 5 years ago in June of 2017. It was my first year hosting Locked On 49ers full-time, and we had a good time doing this. But now that Croc's involved here, 3 teams means positions get a little bit thinner, a little bit quicker. And so it's added another dynamic to this, and it's been a lot of fun. We've gotten a lot of feedback so far, and we appreciate all of you letting us know what you think about our drafts here. So the first pick in the draft was won via coin toss or digital coin toss, and it was Team Wink's drafting 1, Team Crocker drafting 2, Team Peacock 3rd. We're doing snake drafts, so Wink and I get 2 picks in a row every single time, and then Croc is sandwiched in between our slices of bread here. And I love how things are falling right now. So for those of you who did not see episode 1 and don't care to go back and listen to it or watch it, we'll go through really quick what happened in the first 4 rounds. And that was Team Winkler starting the thing off with Joe Montana. Steve Young goes pick 2. Jerry Rice pick 3 for Team Peacock. I come back with Ronnie Lott at the turn for pick number 4 overall. Team Crocker goes with Terrell Owens to pair with Steve Young at number 5. Pick 6 was Bryant Young for Team Winkler. Winkler comes back with Frank Gore with pick 7 overall. Pick 8 was Deion Sanders for Team Crocker. Team Peacock then finishes up episode 1 with Charles Haley and Patrick Willis back-to-back. And then Jimmy Johnson, Hall of Fame corner to Team Crocker, back-to-back corners. And then should be Hall of Fame running back Roger Craig to Team Winkler, who went running back-to-back in rounds 3 and 4. So Team Wink is Montana, Bryant Young, Frank Gore, Roger Craig. Team Crocker, Steve Young, Terrell Owens, Deion Sanders, Jimmy Johnson. Team Peacock, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, Charles Haley, Patrick Willis so far, which means we are now at pick number 1 in round 5 and Team Winkler on the clock. After sleeping on it a few times, Wink, how you feeling about your squad so far? Montana, BY, Frank Gore, and Roger Craig.
I like it. I like where I'm going with it. I have a plan. I have an idea of what I want my offense and my defense to look like. It's falling right where I need it to fall right now. And this next pick, I've kind of gone back and forth on it. There's a couple guys I want here. But then I look at what you guys already have. I look at the depth of position. I look at single season, right, with the 49ers, something that nobody's done as a 49er is where I'm going with this next draft pick. Ooh. I'm talking about a guy who had 8 rushing touchdowns last year from the wide receiver position. I want Deebo Samuel coming in at my number 5 there. My offense is unbelievable. Joe Montana with Frank Gore, Roger Craig, Deebo Samuel. Come on. You can't stop that.
Okay.
Wow. 3 running backs in a row. Crocker, are you surprised? Because I got to be honest, Deebo Samuel was definitely on my radar to be picked sometime soon. I don't know if I was going to pick him in round 5 yet, but I thought, well, look, if Frank Gore and Roger Craig are already gone to Team Winkler, I can go wide back with Deebo Samuel and not even worry that much about running back. But Team Wink trying to just corner the market on anybody who could carry the ball in 49ers historical backfield. So Deebo Samuel, the first member of the current group of San Francisco 49ers, is off the board here with the first pick in round 5. Wow. Team Croc now on the clock.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel is actually 3rd on my big board right now. So that lets you know and how these things happen, especially with Peacock having multiple picks in a row. I knew my chances of kind of getting him were slim, so I probably would have taken him in the next round. But not this round. But I am staying with a current 49er. Okay. And I'm going with the big silverback, Trent Williams. All right, listen, I get it. And I think this is where the backlash on my team will be. I have Terrell Owens. He was kind of this disgruntled kind of guy or whatever. Then I have Deion Sanders. He only did it for 1 year. Then I have Jimmy Johnson, and people are like, who is Jimmy Johnson, right? But Trent Williams, a current guy, again, hasn't played a bunch for the 49ers, but that 1 year last year, he broke the whole PFF grading scale. Like there has never been not just an offensive lineman, but no offensive player ever to grade out as high as Trent Williams did. And so to have that type of offensive lineman on your team, and I get it, there's Joe Staley out there, and people are probably, oh, well, what about Joe? Joe Staley couldn't hold Trent Williams' jockstrap. All right, so we're going Trent Williams here, best offensive lineman in 49ers history.
Wow.
Yeah,
I would like
who I was going between.
I would like to say something right now because Joe Staley has he has the guts of a burglar, right? Joe Staley could come in, snatch Trent Williams' jockstrap, and as athletic as Trent Williams is, he ain't catching 4.740. Joe Staley, who's the next pick right now for Team Peacock, and I think the 2 best offensive tackles are now off the board, and I cannot believe the Joe Staley disrespect that I just heard from Eric Crocker.
No, I don't think it's disrespect.
Unbelievable.
Eric, I just don't think
he's. Say something about.
We watched him. We watched his entire career. We watched terrific. Again, all-time great 49er. So you're going to score the brownie points with the fans because they love Joe Staley. All right, you're going to score the points with that. That's what your whole team is right now. The players that everybody loves, right? But Trent Williams, it gets no better than that in 49ers history at the offensive lineman. There are some other guys that I might take a little bit later, but they ain't Trent Williams.
Yeah, I'm with Croc on this. You know, Joe Staley had a great career with the 49ers, but he was never considered the best tackle in football. Trent Williams is still to this day considered the best. So I'm with you, Croc. It was between him and Deebo for that last pick.
Wow.
So well done.
And people kept tweeting us, and they're like, "Oh, well, what about this guy, that guy?"
I know. I was like,
"Chill." I'm like, I'm just not responding to it. I'm like, "Chill out, man."
Man, Team Crocker, more like Team Disrespectful. I cannot believe what I'm hearing from Crocker.
That's what we are, man. You see the guys, T.O., Dion. Come on, man. Trent, this is Team Disrespectful.
How about this? After 5 rounds, how many players on Team Crocker were even drafted by the 49ers? Oh. Not even half. 2 out of the 5 were 49ers draft picks.
Wow.
Hey, it's not my fault. It's not my problem. They need to draft better than, I don't know. But they went and got some big dogs in free agency. They said these are the guys that we need to go out and get to help us win.
Team Week 5 for 5 in that category.
All right. There's a couple players that I'm really debating between right here on Team Peacock. And there's so many good players to choose from still. I don't think any of these picks can be wrong at this point just because there's so many all-time greats. But I'm going to stay with the current group of San Francisco 49ers as my colleagues Wink and Croc did in round 5, here with my first pick of round 6. And I know it's kind of early to do this.
Nick Bosa.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's his only pick right here.
It's kind of early. It feels a little early. It feels a little early.
It is a little early. But write it in. You know you want to.
defensive end.
BDN.
And the Silverback's going to have his hands full with Charles Haley and Nick Bosa coming off the edge.
But you know what, though? You know who the Silverback said it was the hardest for him to block? One of the guys that gave him the most problems? Well, that's
Who's
the guy
that?
that's come off the board right now, Alden Smith. All right, now let's go. Let's go. Write it in. Edge rusher, Alden Smith. Now, there's a guy the 49ers drafted. Did anybody have more sacks than him in their first couple of years in the NFL? Come on now.
The thing I love about Team Crocker right now is I don't know how, like, longevity, what this team would look like, but if you got them all in their prime, which is what we're talking about here, if it comes together, it's a scary football team. But, man, can you imagine the smack talk between Owens and Deion Sanders? Alden Smith coming in, with his state of mind.
Just don't date Alden's ex-girlfriend. You're good.
That's true. That's true. I mean, that's a locker room that could go south very quick, and could even go south at halftime.
We just need it for one season. That's it.
Yep.
We just need to hold them together for 1 year. That's it. We're going for the big kahuna.
All right, I like it. Wink, you got back-to-back selections here. We are now with the third pick of round 6 in the all-time San Francisco 49ers mock draft. I'm going to have you make one pick, Wink.
Okay.
And then we're going to break, and then we're going to come back for round 7.
I like it. So I see a lot of defensive ends coming off the board here. You got some good ones there, guys. But really, there's just one of them that's in the Hall of Fame, and none of you guys took him. And he's probably the best defensive end that's ever played for the 49ers. And I'm talking about Fred Dean. So give me him, lock him up, put him next to Bryant Young. My defensive line, solid. My run game, solid. I'll take on all comers. Let's go.
Wow, the run on defensive ends in round 6. Okay. Finally, Winkler recognizing that he needs to get a little bit more help on the defensive side of the ball, but a good start there on the defensive line with Bryant Young and Fred Dean, a couple of Hall of Famers. So Wink going Hall of Fame heavy so far in this all-time San Francisco 49ers draft. All right, we're moving on to round 7 next. We've got a lot of spots to fill on all of these rosters. We love hearing from you, so make sure you let us know at BD Peacock, at Eric_Crocker, at Bay Area Wink on Twitter, or in the YouTube comments. Let us know what you're thinking about these teams so far. But I want to let the folks out there, before we get into round 7, I want to let them know about our friends at BlueNile.com. BlueNile.com is the original online jeweler. Since 1999, they've helped millions of couples create their perfect engagement ring. And we're not talking just engagement rings, but that's a big part of it, right? If you're going to make a big ring purchase, tons of wedding jewelry, tons of other everyday fine jewelry, though, at BlueNile.com. Whether you're buying something for your mom or your sister or whatever, trying to take your relationship to the next level, doesn't even have to be engagement rings. Diamond jewelry, cocktail rings, gemstone necklaces. There is a ton that you can find, some beautiful gifts, timeless jewelry pieces, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. And the best part about BlueNile.com, in my opinion, is if you're looking for fine jewelry, sometimes you can have a little bit of trouble, as I would, choosing what it is you want to buy. So BlueNile.com has jewelry experts on hand 24/7, available via phone or chat to help you find a memorable gift at every budget. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On 49ers listeners will get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This is a podcast exclusive that includes engagement. So use promo code Locked On for that discount. That is promo code Locked On. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. So shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. I want to thank everybody for making Locked On 49ers your first listen every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. For your second listen, check out the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft, which starts June 16th, Thursday. Over 50 insiders. Nothing equals the Ultimate NBA Mock Draft. If you tuned into the Ultimate NFL Mock Draft, you know how it goes. I have so much fun being involved in the NFL side of things. This is the NBA version. NBA Big Board Draft experts plus Odyssey insiders. The first pick is June 16th. Search Ultimate NBA Mock Draft and follow now so you don't miss a pick. All right, we are on to round 7. Let's pull the draft board back up for those of you watching on YouTube. And Team Winkler now to add to Montana, BY, Frank Gore, Roger Craig, the wide back, Deebo Samuel, the first member of the current San Francisco 49ers selected here. Fred Dean, the Hall of Fame defensive end in round 6. Now on to round 7. Which way are you going to go here, Wink?
I think I want to keep building on my strength, right? I mean, I've got Joe Montana, I've Gore and Craig lined up behind him. Deebo Samuel can line up behind him too if we want. He can line up on the right. He can line up on the left. He can line up wherever we want him to line up. So let's go ahead, give that offense another weapon. Let's talk about a guy who he's the best tight end that's played for the 49ers. I mean, he's maybe going to go down as one of the best tight ends ever. He had one of the best single seasons of a tight end ever. Not to mention, he's probably the best blocker right now in the NFL as a tight end. Current guy, George Kittle. Put it on the board.
I like it.
Peacock, you are muted.
Muted. I think that's a great pick. I think there's a great argument to be made for George Kittle there. I like your two current 49ers, Deebo and George Kittle, you've drafted so far. I think what George Kittle's done, he for sure will be the best tight end in San Francisco 49ers history. And I think there's probably good debate about if his career ended now, who that would be. But, you can project that out. I think he's going to end up being there. And he would have definitely been not lasted long after this pick, Wink. So that's a good one.
Yeah. Probably would have
Team
went
Crocker, round 7.
Yeah, he would have went probably soon, but not yet because I had my eye set on this guy and I figured I would have him about this range. Part of this is, trying to figure out like a real draft, right? Like where guys will fall, and you can like a guy and you could want a guy, but you got to wait to the right spot. And I feel like this is the right spot for this guy. I'm talking about four-time All-Pro defensive back. All right, I'm loading up. My secondary is almost complete now. Two-time first-team All-Pro defensive back. Two-time second-team All-Pro. 4-time Pro Bowler. All right, y'all know where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Merton Hanks. Let's go.
I
We're
just
drafted to
crossed him
play cornerback, but we have him here. We're drafting him here as a safety. So 4th all-time in interceptions as a 49er with 33. We are really excited to bring Merton Hanks along. I used to do his dance at recess. I get an interception.
Me too.
And I do that. Yeah.
You would hurt yourself trying to do the Merton Hanks dance. I definitely would now. A little bit more nimble as a young kid, and I could pull that off. And a nice little post-career working with the league too, as a important piece.
People don't really like him though. They don't like him.
They don't look at the guy on the field, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's like the one finding everybody. He's the Pope.
Find himself for that. What did he call the dance?
Chicken.
Floppy
chicken. What was it?
Funky chicken
neck.
maybe?
Chicken neck.
Chicken neck, maybe.
What was it called?
I don't know. I don't know if he had a name for it.
But yeah, I'm never gonna try that again.
No, there was a name. There was a name for it. Hold on, I'm pretty sure I can pull it up. Merton Hanks.
Everybody, there's people at home yelling right now.
Yeah.
How could you guys not know this?
We're not live today. People be in the chat honest about that.
Yeah, we would already know. That was a good one. I almost went Hanks there as well because I see you just snatching up the secondary, Croc, which is not a surprise. I knew you would.
We got real cover guys on that back end right now.
You do.
All right. Things are getting serious here in the Team Peacock war room. There's a ton of ways I can go. We're in a level, we're in a tier right now that, man, I could take this in so many different directions. But I'm going to keep building just this powerhouse group I have put together that I think should scare people up front. You know what I mean? And so much like I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan would do if they were building a roster, just completely build out that defensive line and hurt teams there. So I'm going to go with the guy who made, you heard me, Croc, who made the guy you drafted in round 8. And I'm going with Justin Smith. Without Justin Smith, Aldon Smith would have had like 5 career sacks or something like that.
That's a good pick. That's the guy you want on your team.
Nothing to say, Croc?
I mean, he did his thing, but again, I when you ask Trent Williams, who's the hardest guy, and he says Aldon Smith gave him the most trouble, he didn't say, Aldon Smith gave me the most trouble because he had Justin Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He just said Alden Smith gave him the most trouble.
Mm.
So, I know everybody wants to look at the stunts and everything like that, but I think Alden Smith, he could stand alone when he's focused and dialed in.
I don't think Trent Williams ever had to play against Charles Haley, and he definitely doesn't play against Nick Bosa either. So there's that. Or Fred Dean, for that matter. All right, where we at?
You guys talk about having to play against Alden Smith and not being happy with the task.
Yeah.
Croc, I got to give you credit. You actually drafted a couple players that the 49ers actually drafted. So
back on track.
Trying to get the fans back on your side with this draft. I see where you're going. All right, so where am I at here? The first pick in round 8 is where I am. I've got 3 defensive linemen already. I've got Justin Smith in the middle, and with Bosa and Haley coming off the edge. I've got all-timer Patrick Willis behind them, and then Ronnie Lott behind him. So I don't have any corners yet. I don't have a quarterback, unlike you guys, but I do have the greatest, maybe football player, definitely 49er, definitely wide receiver of all time in Jerry Rice as my first pick. But I got to go to the offensive side of the ball, I think. I need a little bit more firepower to go along with my guy in – oh, maybe. Oh gosh, see, this is tough right now. This is really tough. I almost want to go to break because I want to think about this a little bit.
Do it.
I almost want to go to break right now.
Tease it.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it when we come back from break. I'm gonna make my selection in round number 8. We'll get a few more rounds in. I think we got to go through at least round 10 here on today's edition. So we got to go fast when I come back from letting the folks out there know about Built Bar and a brand new flavor. Oh, I forgot to check my mailbox. I think I've got some Mud Pie Built Bars in my mailbox right now that I'm going to dominate. Just like I'm dominate these guys that I'm drafting with here. I'm going to dominate some Mud Pie Built Bars after this podcast. Our friends at Built are always coming out with amazing new flavors. Well, this time Built has truly outdone themselves with the new Mud Pie flavor. And for the first time ever, Built is introducing the new Mud Pie flavor in both Mud Pie Bar and like the traditional style Built Bars and the Mud Pie Puff. So you could get the bar or the puff version of the Mud Pie flavor. And I already know in the Locked On DMs that some of the hosts that have gotten them are extremely excited about the Mud Pie flavor. What does it taste like? Well, if you like chocolate, you better get ready for this one because it's got chocolate on the inside. It's got chocolate on the outside. The new Mud Pie bar is rich whipped cream, chocolate mousse smothered in 100% real chocolate and topped with cookies and cream crumble. How about that? All in a package that is high in protein, low in calorie, low in sugar. Only 8 grams of sugar, only 150 calories, but 16 grams of protein in the Mud Pie bar. If you don't want Mud Pie, you can get the other fantastic flavors of Built Bars at Built.com. Go to Built.com right now. Use promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your order. That is promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Okay. I'm going offense. I'm going offense here, and I'm going with a legend. I'm going with an all-timer. I'm going with the late Dwight Clark to pair on the opposite side from Jerry Rice, the biggest catch in 49ers history. And there's going to be some legendary moments for this just amazing team I'm putting together here for Team Peacock. So I'm going Dwight Clark with the first pick in round 8. And I've got my starting wide receivers, Clark and Rice, intact. That means Team Crocker on the board in round 8.
Celebrating.
You left our guy for us. We were excited. Again, trying to figure out when do we pull the trigger on this guy. We see running back starting to fly off the board. So, we're going with Garrison Hurst here. Guy who had, not an extensive career with the 49ers. Did well. Had a couple years where he missed because of that injury that he suffered in the NFC Championship game. But we are talking about a guy who, at his peak, and this is what we're talking about. We get this peak player, 1,570 rushing yards in one season, 535 receiving yards in that 1 year as well. Talking about over 2,000 total yards from scrimmage in 1 year. Garrison Hurst, he is now Team Crocky.
All right, running
pick,
backs
man.
flying off the board. The running backs went sooner than I thought. I gotta admit, I knew Wink was going to
That's
go
your
for
thing.
more at the turn over there, but yeah, hey,
Undervaluing running backs as always, Peacock.
valuing running backs properly on Team Peacock as I build this thing out. Wink, you got back-to-back picks here. What do you think you're going to do in round 8 and round 9?
Well, I need somebody on my offensive line, right? I don't have anybody going right there. And I mean, there's a guy, this is a history lesson out there, 49er fans. You guys don't know about this guy. They renamed Kezar Field after this guy when he retired, okay? I'm talking about left tackle. Dude played 17 seasons. Come on. Bob St. Clair, put him on the board. He's going to be my left tackle. He's going to protect Joe Montana, and he's going to do a great job at it. Dude had 10 block field goals in 56, too, by the way. 10.
You know what's amazing, Wink, about this draft you're putting together? This is looking a lot more like the team that I drafted against you 5 years ago. So I think you learned some lessons from that, and you're going a little bit deeper into the Hall of Fame archive. Your team skewed a little younger. You're going with a little bit more veteran savvy, more Hall of Famers this time around. So I like it.
I'm balanced. Look at that. I got someone from almost every era right now on my team. I'm just all over the place.
Yeah, you have every decade covered right now, just about.
I'm feeling good about it, too. I'm really liking where this is going. I'm going to stick on the line. I'm going to go back to the defensive line because you got Dean, you got Bryant Young, and then you got the guy that Bryant Young made a defensive player of the year in Dana Stubblefield. That you're not going to beat that front three if you're looking at all these three teams. I've got that locked up right now. You're not going to be able to run on these guys. Like you don't even need any. Don't even take any running backs, guys. Just go 5 wide, run a little run and shoot offense. That's the only chance against me.
What do you think, Croc? What do you think, Croc? Are you worried more about B.Y. Stubblefield and Fred Dean, or are you more worried about Charles Haley, Nick Bosa, and Justin Smith?
I mean, I'm not worried about either team. Not with my roster right now. And I've been really leaning heavily on coverage. I'm gonna stick with that team right now. All right. I'm not going safety. I'm not going corner. I'm actually going linebacker. I'm going with a guy that they call All-Pro Fred. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get Fred Warner on our team. He's going to man the middle, and that just adds to the chippiness. We know he's a guy that loves to talk. We watch his just demeanor on the field, how he is in tackles, how he gets in guys' faces, how he gets in Aaron Rodgers' face. He's laughing. He just fits the mold of the team that we're building. Let's go, Fred Warner.
I like it. All-Pro Fred. I like how early some of the current San Francisco 49ers are coming off the board. And Wink, when we did this in 2017, there wasn't a lot of current 49ers that we could draft.
Those were the down years.
I don't know if we took any. I think we had, Staley.
Who else could we have taken?
One.
Well, Gore was already gone. So who in the world could we have taken?
Yeah, Gore was gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Somebody do a little research out there. Let us know. Go back. Look at what we drafted. I want to know. I might have been the only one. You might be right.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Oof. Yeah. The difference 5 years makes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Here we go. I'm actually going to add to my secondary. I'm going to add to my secondary a little bit here. I might go back-to-back picks with my secondary. Now that I think about it. There's a lot of ways I could go still. Still a lot of great players out there. Still some Hall of Famers that haven't been selected. Ooh.
Tough one.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, this is really hard. All right. Don't need to go there. Okay. Yeah, I'm going. Oh, no. Nope, sorry.
Oh.
I'm not going back-to-back DBs. I'm going linebacker DB with these 2 picks. That's what I'm going to do. No more stalling here. I am going to go with my boy Patrick Willis's running mate for so many years in Navarro Bowman.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then I'm going with a safety tandem to pair with Ronnie Lott in my guy Tim McDonald.
Hey.
Both solid, man. Both good picks.
My former DB coach.
I knew you would appreciate that one, Croc. I thought you might go there with the Merton Hanks pick, by the way. You started talking about it. I was like, oh, is he going to go McDonald or Hanks?
I thought the Warner pick was going to be McDonald. I thought he was going to pair Hanks and McDonald together.
Ooh, that would have been a good tandem, but not as good as McDonald and Ronnie Lott. All right. That's my 10th round pick. We're up for Team Crocker now in round 10.
This is a pick, and as you start to get down here, you have to try to figure, okay, like, I know, I feel like I can wait on this guy. I don't think y'all are even thinking about this guy at all. But I'm looking at Team Winkler, and he only has one receiver, and it kind of scares me a little bit. And I'm pretty sure most people are thinking John Taylor. But when you actually look at John Taylor's career, and he had a good amount of years for the 49ers, it was fairly pedestrian. I think he had, it was like he was on championship teams, so people are going to think about that. But I think this guy was actually better. I think this guy right here is better. He just doesn't have the accolades. He only played, 3 years with the 49ers, really kind of 2 when it mattered most. But
tail end of his career.
Tail end of his career. Anquan Bolden, he had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for the 49ers. Over 160 catches in those 2 years. Had a good amount of touchdowns, man. And I got Terrell Owens, Anquan Bolden, man. We got toughness at the receiver position.
Got some serious size there. Another mercenary for Team Crocker. I don't think anybody should have been surprised that that Crocker went with the guy who made most of his career on other rosters, but he was pretty darn good for the 49ers. And you're right. You look at his numbers for the time he was playing with the Niners, and they're better than John Taylor's. They are. Yeah. There wasn't as many balls to go around for John Taylor when you got Jerry Rice on the other side, though. I will say.
And Brent Jones, he made a lot of catches too there with the 49ers.
Oh, is that who's coming up for Team Wink here?
Let's see. Let's finish out round 10, finish off the episode. But I'm not going to go where you guys think I'm going to go. All these wide receivers coming. There's a lot of great wide receivers that had single seasons for the 49ers that if I want to go that route, I definitely can. I'm going to go get a cornerback now. I think it's time that I go out and get a guy. I get a guy that everybody should know. 49er fans out there, it's a guy. He can lock you down. He can hit you hard. I'm talking about Eric Wright. Put it on the board. He's going to lock down my left side, right side, wherever I need him. I think I can get this guy in there, and that's going to really. My defense is looking really good. I'm really liking where I'm at here, guys.
I like it too. Eric Wright was on my list of players I was thinking about taking in round 9 and 10 there at the turn, but I decided to pass on him for Tim McDonald. But yeah, Eric Wright's a great player, and it kind of there were so many great players on those dynasty teams for the 49ers. Right. Eric Wright's one of those that nobody ever talks about, but he was so darn good.
That's kind of what you want a lot of times, right? As a cornerback, you don't want to be talked about. They're not even throwing at you because they're afraid to.
Mm-hmm. All right, there we go. 10 rounds in the books for the all-time San Francisco 49ers draft. We will come back next Wednesday and throw down a ton more rounds. And we're 15 rounds away, so at least 2 more episodes. I think maybe in 2 more episodes, if we go quickly, maybe we can finish this thing up. Maybe 3 more episodes, but we'll have it all done well before the start of training camp here. Throughout our, we'll be doing these Winky Wednesdays for at least 2-3 more episodes here. But this is a lot of fun. I like how these teams are starting to take shape here, and still a ton of good players. Lots of 49ers legends that are on the board to be selected after 10 rounds, but 30 all-timers have now been selected. Let us know who you like through 10 rounds here. Team Winkler, Team Crocker, or Team Peacock. And always want to appreciate everybody. I want to thank everybody for making Locked On 49ers your first listen every single day. And Croc and I will be back tomorrow. And we'll be back next Wednesday with the all-time 49ers draft right here. Locked On 49ers.
See you.